another question. When you and I talked last week on our financial issue, the funds transfer piece.
Yes.
Anything back from Wolfson now?
The funds have been released. He's not releasing, Commissioner's not releasing all of them. So this is referring to all charters in their first 3 years receive what they call 535 startup grants. The first year prior to the school opening, it's $150,000. The second year, it is for us $200,000, and you have to submit some documentation to the grants office at the Department of Education prior to them releasing those. When I contacted Ron Honesty, who's the head of that department, he indicated that the funds had been frozen by the commissioner. And so I contacted Jeff Wilson, and he indicated that he would check into it, and which he did, and they have approved the release of 80,000 of that startup grant, but the remaining 120,000 is remaining frozen currently. There was no indication as to when that would be.
Or why?
No. But it's something we should, I think, pursue. I just found out about it, so I think we should pursue it and find out. I don't even know what the precedent is for doing that.
I know that we want to get to our training, and it's not on the agenda tonight, but it has to go. And maybe we can put it on for next time, is the recruitment plan. We need to start thinking about next year as the school expands to 2 to 3. I did get a call after the article before, by the way, asking if we're thinking of doing the high school next year. Probably not.
Not next year.
Next year. But we will be adding 2 to 3 next year. So if we could talk about a recruitment plan next time, and possibly we're at the program director.
Yeah, and it's actually, I'm really glad you brought it up, because, and I mentioned it before in Committee on Trustees, but there is now much more vigilance of charters in terms of their recruitment policies meeting the mission of the school. And in fact, Sean O'Neill and I were talking about it just last week. They are going to look at your advertising, where you post it, where you post the paper advertisements, what organizations you contact. And I remember when I first came on, one of the things that most impressed me was the level of effort that went into building the lottery the first time, because the school had contacted Pathways, had hand-delivered and posted leaflets, had made sure that organizations in all areas of Gloucester.
We contacted a lot.
I mean, it was significant, really. I mean,
Door to door.
yeah, and I think that it was a great model, and making sure that we continue to do that and expand where we can, I think is going to be really important. But it's also a way of us indicating that ongoing commitment to the diversity of the student body of the school. So it's a very timely question, because they're going to ask us to deliver that plan. I think it's in December.
Like February is what we're current.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's good.
And on that note, I do want to let everybody know that our logo was honored by being published in a book of, I don't want to say this correctly, but it's a book of, top logos of the year. And Tim Sauer, who works for Gordon College, developed that logo for us. So,
Good.
okay. Anything else before we move to the board training for tonight, which is our main event? And Alpha, where is the best place for you to be? Because we can move around.
No, I'm going to move up. I'm doing this with paper copies and just oral rather than PowerPoint. Some of the papers PowerPoint.
I'm going to ask, if you don't mind, too, that we do a handwritten sign-in, even though we have it in the minutes. Okay, well, we'll do this one, just because that's something that they asked us for. So Do you have a piece of paper, Dave, that got those to do?
I'm used to it. Meeting adjourned. I think this is part of the meeting. Okay. Yeah. So I think you could stay. You people are ethical enough. Is that it? Someone else. We'll miss you.
I'm sure.
Where did you sign? The only thing we're.
Yeah, I can do it. I'll get that.
Thank you very much. So, if you want to pass it forward, they can give you they just appreciate you saying
Anybody on the board itself complain? Or just?
You know, I
Talk to the fewer board members.
sorry, I can look on the
and I will email her.
She has very narrow eye range.
Well, the chair of the board says that she doesn't mind if people put up
The
YouTube.
complaints run on.
So I know that at least one member of the board.
What Amy's saying, that's clear, then I would assume everybody.
I made the motion.
Just one.
I wish it was for social but I love that. I'm, oh, you want to use my pen?
I realize that.
I'm part of the law. I'm very good friends with Jerry's daughter. Yes. Good friends with Liz Howard.
Yeah.
Very similar, slightly different.
We all do.
The thing that I always say is,
And because I was a Tony, an employee and a trustee, is subject to the stricter regulations. Yeah, but I want my kids to be aware of that.
you should have both if you want to look up resolution, because these are two.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I'll still look on these, but this is one for the, one for the.
Okay, so I'm
So this is a bit.
and I don't know if you might need to just tell me something about where you work outside of the well, I work as a Oh, okay.
Elementary and secondary.
Okay.
You said
Yes, I
director
know,
work.
yes, I can see you, okay.
I'm Jeff Featherstone, I'm a writer and a poet.
Okay.
I'm Joe Nobles, I run a nonprofit in Burlington.
And does that nonprofit do work with charter schools?
No.
Good to go back to.
I work at the school.
That's fine.
Gordon Baird, I'm a retired publisher, and I'm a sort of a farmer and a musician.
Okay. You know, because I saw your bio, and it was your bio, that somehow I thought we would work on YouTube, but thank you. Yeah, see. Okay, got it, all right. So you are familiar with all of these schools?
I certainly.
Okay, how long have you been at GS? All right, so you probably are familiar. Okay, so as trustees, each of you is a special state employee. So Tony is a state employee, and you are a state employee, although not at the charter school. And the rules that apply to special state employees are somewhat more lenient than the rules that apply to state employees, for the most part, which is why I've given you two different pamphlets here.
Can I I'm sorry to interrupt. I know we're being filmed right now.
Oh,
I also know that you're being paid for what you do.
yes.
So I wasn't sure if that was acceptable to you.
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I know, I'm just thinking, just as a matter of
Proprietary, yeah.
Yes,
but
I appreciate your letting me know.
Okay.
I'll probably ignore the camera.
No, I didn't mean it for that. I just
No.
meant for intellectual property purposes.
You know, I don't really know.
And these are probably the public rules anyway, so.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
these are something that we created for clients. And you should understand what you've been given here is really half of conduct guidelines that we would normally prepare for clients. It's the half that deals with the state ethics statute. At the very end, I just gave a listing of additional provisions that one might want to include in a set of conduct guidelines for trustees. And the same is true of the code of conduct for employees. And these are things, they have nothing to do with the state ethics statute, they have nothing to do with, some of it has to do with state law, like sexual harassment policies. These are things you should think about, and I felt guilty as I was taking our standard code of conduct and conduct guidelines and crossing things out without letting you know that, a real set of conduct guidelines would actually include additional things be over and above the state ethics statute. Okay, so to go back, special state employees. You are a special state employee because you serve at a charter school, which is a state entity. There are different guidelines under the ethics statute that apply to state employees and municipal employees. So sometimes you might hear someone refer to some rule that might apply to a municipal employee. It might not apply the same way to a state employee. So just be aware there are slight differences. Just like there are slight differences between being a special state employee and a state employee. One of the items that you mentioned in connection with having a new trustee on board is paperwork that needs to be filed with DESE. And I have it here. And that was going to be the end of my presentation. How you get started as a charter school trustee, but it's one of the special rules that applies to charter school trustees, which does not apply to any other type of special state employee. There is a provision that relates to the state ethics statute that's right in the charter school statute that requires you annually, within 30 days of becoming a trustee and thereafter annually, to submit a disclosure to DESE and to the State Ethics Commission and to your local city or town which identifies not only your sort of standard disclosure, financial interests with the state that took place, or the financial interests that you might have had the prior year, but also interests you might have had specifically in any other charter school. So that's a very special requirement that applies to charter school trustees. It does not apply to any other kind of special state employee or municipal employee. So that's the beginning, although I put it at the end. The state ethics statute is very complicated. I have to say that. The State Ethics Commission has done a great job with its website, posting information and explanations of all of the requirements. And I'm going to go through the different categories of requirements tonight and answer any questions that I can. I'll take down questions that I can't respond to right away, but you should understand that if you have questions going forward, it's a great resource. Just type in State Ethics Commission. You don't even have to type in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts will be the first thing to pop up because we have a very well-developed website. And what they've done is they've posted opinions that they've issued categorized by topic, so that if you have a question, let's say somebody's offered me a gift, and that's the first topic we're going to get into, or it looks like they've offered me a gift. Is it really a gift? What do I do about it? You will find an opinion of the State Ethics Commission probably discussing your issue. If